For my service learning experience, I chose to volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Club is an organization that looks after kids once school is over nearly every single school day. By teaching, tutoring, challenging, and playing with kids, the Boys and Girls Club constantly attempts to get new kids involved in school. I thought such a premise was interesting, so I decided to get involved with the Boys and Girls Club myself. Personally, middle school was perhaps the most impactful time of my life, so I wanted to make a difference however I could. Throughout my time with the Boys and Girls Club, I made a conscious effort to practice and control my active listening, perceptions of others, stress management, levels of communication, and conflict management. I realized that active listening would be important when working at a site like this because not only did I have to show that I acknowledged the kids, but also the staff members. Specifically, I maintained eye contact and gave verbal and nonverbal responses. Eye contact helped to assure the speaker that I was listening, while verbal responses such as a nod and nonverbal ones like a "sure, no problem" showed that I understood what they were saying. My perception of others, although much less visual, was equally important. Throughout my service learning experience, I had to make sure I wasn't judging people unfairly, as that could impact how I interacted with them. Therefore, I tried to keep a positive perception of everyone at the Boys and Girls Club. Stress management was another interpersonal skill that I had to keep in check. At times, I found it was difficult to even go out and volunteer in the first place. I almost always had an assignment I could have worked on instead, and I didn't exactly like riding my bike to and from the Boys and Girls Club every time I wanted to volunteer. I also had to worry about studying for exams, but eventually I just forced myself to go out and volunteer. Luckily, the stresses of college never showed up in my volunteering, but the problem of getting myself to volunteer in the first place never truly went away. I also utilized several levels of communication while at my service learning site. The most common level I used was cliched language to start conversations, since I didn't know anybody there when I was first starting out. I also reported facts about others whenever anyone had questions for me, such as by saying what staff member was in charge of what. I rarely shared my opinion with others while talking with the kids, but occasionally would with staff members. I used virtually none of the levels above ideas and judgments, but that's understandable since I didn't get particularly close with anyone. On the other hand, however, I exercised plenty of conflict management skills. Whenever kids started arguing with each other, I had to find tactful ways to deal with them. I often tried calming them down instead of just stopping the arguing immediately, and would try to find out what started the problem in the first place to show that I cared. Of course, with all the time and effort I put into my service learning experience, I ended up helping the Boys and Girls Club in several ways. First, I played sports with the kids to help keep them active. Many middle schoolers find it necessary to burn off some energy after a full day of school, and sports is a fun and healthy way to do that. I also helped by enforcing the rules and trying to keep order, which made day-to-day activities run much more smoothly. This took many forms, such as breaking up conflicts, giving necessary punishments, unfortunately, and keeping kids focused on having fun. Lastly, I helped by assisting with some of the daily club activities. Each day, the Boys and Girls Club had several clubs that kids could choose to join. These clubs ranged from flag football to painting to learning about biology. By assisting staff members in these activities, I helped the kids to engage in fitness, learning, creative thinking, and more. One thing I really aimed to accomplish through my service learning experience was to become more socially open with younger kids, especially in middle school and below. After completing my service, I'm glad to say that I am in fact better at communicating with kids, though not as much as I'd hoped. Still, being able to hang out with the kids and make their day alone was worth it. I got to help the Boys and Girls Club continue to do what it set out to do, engage kids in productive activities while having fun. I admit, I could have tried talking to more kids earlier in my service learning, but overall I'm happy with the results I've gotten. Furthermore, I would recommend this volunteering experience to future ALEC 102 students because although it can get boring at times, the experience is what you make of it. The Boys and Girls Club is all about interacting with the kids, and if you don't do that, then what good do you expect to come from it? As the saying goes, you never know until you try, so I urge you to get out of your comfort zone and talk to the kids. Maybe, just maybe, you'll become a more open person because of it. Thank you.